a video on MCAT resources. Essentially, we're going to go through the resources that I have seen or used as a student studying for and taking the MCAT. There are different products listed out here. I have almost all of the tables that you'll need for prices, what things include, and hyperlinks to get to those resources so that you can go through them, compare and contrast, see what fits with your price range, see what you might be interested in, or what sections you might need the most help in, and pick and choose to do the best on your MCAT. So the first thing we're going to talk about are the double AMC MCAT products. The link is going to take you to some more links that you'll eventually get to these tables that I have uploaded on this doc. My biggest 2 cents is that the double AMC MCAT products are the best. If you're going to buy anything, you should be buying those. Now, this is because that double AMC is putting the MCAT on. They make the MCAT questions. Their prep products are from past MCAT exams. So they're going to be worded and structured just like your MCAT exam will be. You won't get the same exact questions, but you will have similar topics. It'll give you understanding and explanations of questions you get wrong, just like you should have on the MCAT. So there's a good amount of products there. In total, there are 6 practice exams. They are all scaled and scored when you buy the products. So you can take a full-length exam and it'll give you your score. And then it will also have 1 free practice exam like you can see right here. So you can use the free practice exam, see how you like it, and then you can buy the rest of them if you like doing the full-length exams. My recommendation is to do as many full-length practice exams in the conditions that you will test in before taking your actual test. This is not only going to help you go through what things you understand and what things you need to do more review on, but also it's going to get you into your testing environment. The MCAT is super long, so practicing those long tests where you're sitting for almost 7 hours, you have very structured breaks, it's going to help you significantly on test day when you need to stay focused through that whole 7-hour period. Okay. Aside from the full-length exams, there's also practice material. I do recommend these as well. So same idea. They're very structured questions, similar to what you'll see on the MCAT. They're pulled from past exams, but they are just in the topics separately. So you have biology question packs, a couple of them, chem question packs, physics, cars, which is your reading comprehension, independent question banks, which is a mixture, and then other section banks. So these will also be scored for you so you can practice through them and you can go through them multiple times. And then here is the pricing that the double AMC provides for their materials. You can get the practice exams for a year or you can get them for 6 months. Depending on how long your study dedicated period is, that will determine whether you need things for a year or 6 months. And then you can buy things separately or you can bundle things together. Now, if you were going to buy double AMC materials and that's your main form of studying, I would recommend getting the entire pack with all of the materials they have, just because those practice exams are the most aligned to what you're going to see. The questions are the most like what you're going to see. Everything is as close to your real exam as it's going to be for double AMC materials, and I can't say the same for any other resources that you choose or don't choose to use. But definitely look through those yourself. You can look things up on Reddit. You can look up some YouTube videos and people can show you types of questions that there are and essentially what it will look like when you buy these things. So the next resource we have is from LTS Test Prep. This is the resource that I use. They have a lot of options. The price range, it's very large. And that you'll see that for all MCAT resources, which is why you really have to do your research and figure out what you truly need to do the best to study for your exam. So a lot of differences for the LTS MCAT prep stuff is between what you're being offered. So you'll get a book, one single book for all MCAT content, whereas like Kaplan, you'll get a few books on all the different things. These courses have options to include one-on-one tutoring, group virtual sessions. There's in-person prep courses available in some areas. So if you live somewhere and you're going to be studying like over the summer and you're near one of those, you can go in person. And then they also work with bundling the double AMC material, which is something that I really liked. So buying the packages includes purchasing all double AMC practice exams, all question banks, all of the double AMC material you will have purchased in the price of these courses. So like you can see here, you have the all double AMC official practice tests included with the silver one-on-one, and then you also get 10 full-length MCAT practice tests that are created by LTS's program. I know we're working right now with the pre-health professions division to see if we can get a free half-length exam that used to be offered at Adrian and was put on by LTS. You can look and see if it's offered anywhere else near this area or where you live. But essentially you sign up, you'll sit down, and you'll take an MCAT exam. It's only half of one. It'll get scored for you, and it'll give you a baseline of where you're at and how much you need to increase your score by. And then if you do that through LTS, they usually give you a pretty significant chunk of money off of the price. If I remember correctly, it was over, I want to say significantly over $1,000 if you're purchasing a package, because they are very expensive. Like I said before, all the double AMC materials are bundled into the LTS program. I personally did LTS. It was a lot of work, and if you put in a lot of work to it and completely dedicate yourself to the resources that you're purchasing, I think that it's very beneficial. And I can talk more if people want to. You can send me an email, reach out to Dr. Suji, and he can put you in contact with me. Another resource that is pretty well known are the Kaplan resources. I personally did not use anything from Kaplan. I know that they have books, and I'm almost positive Dr. Suji has the Kaplan books in his office, so you can take a look at those if you want to prior to like purchasing books or purchasing any of these resources. And you'll also see that a lot of this stuff is online, so you're going to like subscribe. They'll send you what you need to. It'll be a digital book or digital resources, practice questions, whatever it may be. If you were going to buy the physical copies of the books, I would not buy them new or full price. A lot of places online, you can probably get them used. You could probably source them out on Amazon or even Facebook Marketplace because the material is the same and you're not going to need them forever. So see what prices, wherever you can save money, obviously, is best because this stuff adds up very quickly. And then these also have live online classes. And then as you go up in price or up in quality of these courses, you get more like specific studying to yourself. So like you'll get more access to tutors or more access to one-on-ones, like he says here. And then they sell them in 10, 20, 30, or 40-hour packages. Okay. The next resource is a free resource. It's called Anki. Anki, I would say, is similar to like Quizlet, except it is focused on spaced repetition practice. That's what it's known for. You can make Anki decks, or you can upload Anki decks that are already pre-made by others, similar to Quizlet. But essentially, you are creating or using flashcards or fill in the blanks. There's a lot of different features, and you will have to do Anki every day if you're going to commit to it, because it's trying to commit this stuff to your higher order memory, and you'll get a certain amount of cards that it'll say, okay, you need to learn these today, and it'll scale you on how well you understood the material. I also uploaded the Miles Down MCAT Anki deck. That is something that you'll see all over Reddit, all over YouTube videos that people love. I personally did not use that deck. I made my own Anki cards for the MCAT based on my LTS course and the material in the book, just because if I was making the cards myself, I knew what I needed to focus on more or what I didn't understand. But no shame in using the deck. I've heard from others that it's a great deck. It covers almost everything. Just remember that if you're going to use Anki, you need to be consistent with it. That is the only way that the spaced repetition works. I would also watch a YouTube video on how to set up your own cards and use it, because if you haven't before, it can be a bit confusing. Okay. Next resource, Khan Academy. Khan Academy has free and paid MCAT resources. I used some videos on Khan Academy just like from YouTube when I was studying, and they were very helpful. I have never used their paid resources, but you can look into that on Reddit and look into that on Google to see how people liked them and how they compare to these other resources. But something that I did use that I would highly recommend is called the Psych Soc Doc. I hyperlinked it right here. So it's this link. It's going to take you to a PDF file. And this one that I uploaded is 300 pages long, which is very daunting. There's not a lot on each page because there's big images and ways so you can remember concepts, but truly this should give you the information for everything you need to know about the Psych Soc section on the MCAT. I used it and I scored very well on that section. There is a condensed document that's about 30 or 33 pages, I think, but you could just type in the Psych Soc Khan Academy shortened doc on Google and it should come up on Reddit. Reddit usually has the hyperlinks for that. So definitely take a look into that when you're studying. If you're having a hard time with Psych Soc, it explains topics very clearly and simply. Okay. Next we have UWorld. I personally did not purchase UWorld. This is paid for, but someone that I was studying with, a study buddy, did purchase UWorld, so I did have access to some of the questions that she thought were the best, and we went through them together. The only thing that I will say is that the UWorld questions are not always similar to what you will see on the MCAT. The level of them is not always as high as it should be, especially for CARS, which is your reading and comprehension. And some of the math and physics stuff is not as hard as you will see on the MCAT. So just be careful with some of these resources. You need to make sure that you are learning and testing yourself at the level that the MCAT will be testing you, because if you're not, it's not going to be beneficial. And a good way to do that is to start with double AMC materials and then test yourself on another resource with a trial. And then you can compare and contrast and say, okay, well, this was significantly easier than the double AMC, then maybe it's not testing me at a level that it should be. And then maybe don't buy that deck. But they also have a lot of different pricing options like the other resources. You can get quizzes. You can get the double AMC materials it gives you access to, flashcards. But yeah, essentially all of these resources are going to give you a lot of the same materials, and they're just going to be formatted and written differently based on whatever one you choose. So as you get up in pricing, you'll get one-on-ones, you'll get group tutoring sessions, you'll get their books, you'll get their digital resources, maybe some full-length exams, practice questions, access to someone to ask questions throughout the day. But the best way to look at it is to use free trials when they're there. Look at your pricing options. What are you willing to spend? And then what you see in reviews online or YouTube videos. So what works best with your study style, because it's going to be different for everyone. Like I said before, I used LTS. I loved it. The book, I liked that it was one book and everything was in there. I had a lot of practice questions in the book, and then I had a lot of practice questions online after I went through my review period, as well as the amount of practice exams that they gave, which I think were the most helpful for me. I'm going to go back to my golden rule, which is if you are going to buy anything, buy the double AMC MCAT prep products. Go to this link and see your options. Use the free sample exam. Use the free question banks that are there and see if you like them. But your MCAT is going to be configured from these materials, so might as well study from them. Take as many practice exams as you can. Like I said, there's 6 for the double AMC. There's 1 free one. But make sure you're taking them in the conditions you'll take your regular MCAT in. So take them in one sitting. Use the rules for the MCAT that you're going to have to follow. And do your best. If you have any other questions on LTS or double AMC materials, reach out to Dr. Suji. He can put you into contact with me, and we can always schedule meetings. And I can show you kind of how my studying looks